All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Oakley. I'm going to apologize in advance, and hopefully there's AI that helped my voice. It's been a long day. I'm here with Shure Incorporated.
And I am Everett Salyer. I started about a year ago at Shure in business development role. For that, I was about a couple of decades into broadcast as a live audio mixer, producer, and operations producer with companies like ESPN, Turner, and Big Ten Network.
All right, let's get into what we're here to talk about. Everett, I'll have you start, actually.
So the balancing act, when you're talking about sound isolation and immersive sound capture in modern productions, the balancing act is really about isolation, presence, and intelligibility. So isolation is more that precision control or that pinpoint accuracy you get in when you're capturing audio. Presence is the energy in the stadium, and intelligibility is how clear everything comes through. There are different things that make live sports environments unforgiving. The main one being that they're completely unpredictable. It's a raucous environment.
Chaos.
There is chaos. It isn't guaranteed that the action's going to happen in front of your microphone, right?
Yeah, so what we're showcasing here at NAB is basically some technology that we've developed at Shure, going back actually to the 30s, but it came out about 15 years ago in our conferencing market, and we were tasked with pulling that technology into the broadcast market. But for a quick level set here, we're talking about an array beam forming microphone. So what does that mean? Basically, anything with more than two capsules can be considered an array microphone. So in this instance, we're showing basically the polar pattern of what an array could create. You can notice that it gets very cardioid, almost down to supercardioid in a very tight way. And that could be dependent on your array architecture. What we're talking about specifically today is our DCA 901, which is a planar array. And basically what it does is it has virtual microphones, 8 virtual microphones that look like flashlight beams. It's a polar pattern that you've never really seen before that can only be produced by an array microphone. So you can see here a little animation of what from a single endpoint you can fan out from that single microphone that's creating 8 virtual microphones. And then you can also steer them anywhere in the hemispherical half space. So in this example, there's 2 arrays, 1 array, 2 lobes that can be steered remotely, automated, or just set in the spot and captured. And there's more you can do beyond that, but that's its simplest definition of what we're here to talk about. So we have a quick sizzle reel that's kind of showcasing, really quickly. So the DCA 901 specifically, we just came out with about 4 months ago. We have other form factors we're planning, but this one's our first. So like I said, 8 independent lobes, outputs. It has built-in auto mixing, mono and stereo, as well as a PFL mix. You can adjust the coverage anywhere you want. You can create presets. You can reload them, recall them. Built-in DSP from a noise reduction, EQ, and all the compression, things like that. And you can also do native 5.1 capture from the single endpoint. What's great about that is that unlike traditional methods where you have different shotgun mics where you may have to time align to avoid cone filtering, this one endpoint with all of its elements, everything's co-located. So your 5.1 mix can be flattened to stereo without any artifacting, all from a single point, single cable, single power source. And speaking of that, Dante out, AS67, PoE standard, and you get your power control and everything over one microphone cable, audio cable.
So I have a little scissor reel we're going to show you.
I'm getting every single sound I want, and that's something I've never been able to do before.
Start fight!
I'm expecting the fights to sound like you're actually there, cage side.
2 arrays could cover the whole NBA floor, whereas I would have 12 mics plus to try to capture the same thing.
All right, nice. So we've done a few sports. We're just going to cover a few highlights here of what we've done, but there's a whole list of things that this could be used in. Basketball was our most recent, I should say, longest test trial working in partnership with the NBA. And in this picture here, you can see we just mounted under the stanchion. You can also mount it up in the upper deck for crowd capture. From both stanchion, you can fan out up to 8 microphones and cover the whole key. You can also put one under the Jumbotron and also capture midcourt from there. And as far as workflow goes, that one shotgun mic that would be traditionally used is now replaced by this one product that has an auto mixer. So you still have one fader if you want hitting the desk. You could do more, but we're not trying to make a negative impact to the workflow of the A1. So basketball's been great, and we've been working with NCAA, collegiate sports, different Big 10, Big 12 teams, and it's been really outstanding results.
I think we should also talk about that the whole point of immersive capture is to have the fan connect closer with the team, especially in sports. That's what everybody wants, right? Like that's what we're all looking to do, is to make that emotional connection with our team. And that's what we're able to do with this. We're able to take the fan and immerse them into the sport so they feel like they're sitting at the side of the court or the diamond. We've also had really great success with baseball in doing that. So we can take 2 of those 901s and put them at low first and low third position. And then instead of capturing just that moment of time of sound, we're able to capture a whole entire sequence of sound. So you get the crack of the bat, you get the run of the track, and you get the pick or the slide into first.
Another sport we've been doing really well in is football, soccer. I've been working with a partner called Edge Sound Research. And what they do is they actually take the tracking data that's in many of these venues, both soccer venues, basketball venues, and we replaced all of the normal microphones, which are normally 12 shotgun mics. That's the UEFA standard for capturing audio, and that's what that first picture is. You'll notice there's lots of dead zones there when none of those shotgun mics are capturing anything, and as a result of that, you don't ever hear a soccer game. You don't hear it when you're at the game. You don't hear it when you're on TV, and that's why a lot of times in the bars they just turn the sound off. You're just hearing nothing but crowd noise. With our array in conjunction with Edge, you went from 12 channels to 96 channels. That's not going to help the engineer at all. So what Edge does is they can take the tracking data of where the ball goes, and it turns on the lobe where the ball is located. It's effectively auto mixing using location data as the gating decision maker. And we have 2 clips we're going to play right now. The first clip is what you would normally hear from a soccer game, and you're not going to hear much. It's just crowd noise. But then the second clip is with our array microphone and Edge. That's what went to air.
And this is with Edge Sound Research, the virtual sound engine.
Yeah, and that's actually an old demo we've had for over a year now. It's actually gotten even better. So if you guys come by the booth, you can hear a good example of that. But that's a huge space you're capturing, and we're able to actually hear the players, hear the ball kick. None of it's augmented, none of it's AI. It's all real.
Banter, the kick, the trash talk, all the things that you want. And then we have utilized it in boxing, MMA, and then this event, Armored MMA, which you saw in the sizzle reel, which is exactly how it sounds. It's an MMA fight, but the fighters have 80 to 100 pounds of armor on, and they hit each other with swords, clubs, axes, mace.
We should have brought this up for the investors in the last talk. Actually, they might have been into this.
And it's a lot of fun. But one 901 mounted above the cage can pick up the entire sequence of fighting with such detailed sound that you can actually tell where they're being hit on their body.
Wow, that went a lot quicker than I thought. Anyway, so yeah, we just want to showcase our new technology. Hope you guys have questions about it. That'd be great. Otherwise, come by the booth, check us out. We do have a couple more demos there. We have some new DSP tools that are also tailored to some of this as well, that are all there to help the broadcast be more immersive, more real. And we're working with distributors, broadcasters, teams, venues to all make what's been normally done elevated. I mean, audio hasn't changed in most of broadcast capture in forever. I mean, the shotgun mic was invented in the 60s. Parabolic mics go back to Roman, Greek era. I mean, there hasn't been any new technology when it comes to audio capture, and we think this is maybe one of the first in a long overdue time. Any questions?
So what else are you guys doing to help enhance the sounds of the game? Maybe pick up the right ones.
Yeah, I mean, besides the microphone, which is obviously the starting point of all the audio chain, we've got some other tools we're working on, DSP tools that are AI trained, and what they're trained on right now, they're trained on specifically basketball, baseball, hockey, and we have a commentator one, and they're all designed to remove the chaos of a venue. I mean, these NBA games are parties. They're not just sporting events. They're an entertainment event. The PAs are louder and louder and getting, almost beyond healthy levels. So it's been getting harder and harder for the engineers to capture what people are trying to hear at home. So we're working on creating tools to make that happen. It's actually very difficult to do that in a live space because with any DSP, you're going to have latency, and that's not your friend in live events. But yeah, we have a tool called Action Isolator. That's a free tool right now. That basically cleans up all that chaos for that capture. So there's a demo of it at the booth.
The reason you want to clean that up, obviously. Oh, sorry. The reason you want to clean it up is it puts you closer into the game, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to take the fan and be able to put them as close to the game as possible, if not make them feel like they're a team member.
Thank you. So what's the overhead on integrating this technology into a existing stadium, arenas, sports venues?
It depends on what they have as an existing infrastructure. I think that's the main important question, but most stadiums are updating to a more IP-based format.
So this product's Dante. So at some point, you're going to need to get it onto a Dante network, and you can convert it on both sides to analog if need be, right? Or technically on the far side. The control protocol is on the same network. You can separate it, but technically it's on the same network. So you need at least an IP link if you want to control it. So at most venues, if they don't have fiber, they're going to have copper going back from the floor to the truck bay. So you would have to convert it from Dante to analog at the stanchion if it's NBA, for example. Run it down the line to copper, and then you're fine. If you have fiber, you just convert it to fiber around the venue and then pull it off on the other side into your console or into your network. If you're running MADI, you got to do all that Dante to MADI conversion stuff, but most places now are used to that and have the equipment.
But speaking of venues, we also oftentimes think about immersive sound just for the broadcast, right? But there's a need for immersive sound in the venue as well. We have all of these VIP suites, and when you attend one of those games in a VIP suite, you're 100% removed from all of the action that's happening on the game. So you can take these same microphones, even if they don't go into broadcast, you can put them around the venue. Then you can create those immersive mixes into the VIP suites in those venues.
You need to have like operators to move the cone around to get point to the place where action is happening.
Well, you can preset it live, or you can preset it before the game. You can set presets, actually save presets for multiple different like events that you're doing and recall those presets at a moment's notice, and so you can leave them physically left into their position, or when you reestablish them or change them, you can just reload whatever preset.
Yeah, I mean, from a current workflow, the A2 would mount it. Theoretically, the A2 would then steer the lobes. He would just need to have a laptop. The A1 could do that back on the truck, and then the A2 could like talk it out. But the way we design the user interface, which is served off the product, you just use Chrome to access it, is you can extrapolate basically using the GUI, like, where's the microphone? Where's the point I want a lobe to go? Okay, 10 feet out, 8 feet down, and you steer it there. And you can almost do it within 80% remotely with no other tools needed. But obviously, you should always talk everything out when you set it up.
Cool, thanks.
There is an automated mode on there too that can automatically deploy, but you got to make sure you're in an environment that's not too loud. You can basically stand in a location and like clap or go check 1, 2, and the lobe will snap to wherever you are. So you can, in the right environment, quickly deploy 8 microphones, virtual microphones, in like, I don't know, 15 seconds. I mean, when we go into a venue and demo this, it takes longer to find a ladder than it does to set the microphone up. You want to say your quote?
What's that?
You want to say your quote? This might your least interesting thing.
Oh, yeah. The least interesting thing about this microphone is how good it sounds.
How good it sounds. It sounds great, but it's the least interesting part about it.
Yeah. It integrates with software really well. I mean, you can take the entire field of action and turn it into zones of energy, which then can be translated into what data, can be translated into automation triggers, you name it. Like, think about how that's a game changer from just capturing that one moment in time. And even post-production, right? If you can capture all that data, or doesn't even have to be the data, you can capture those audio channels with the video. You can in post then re-isolate one specific lobe, right? And then focus that. Let's say the example I use is, remember last year in the Phillies game when there was a foul ball and a lady went to catch it, and a father and son, he caught the ball and gave it to his son. Now imagine in post-production if you could have taken that lobe and opened it up and heard what that exchange between the mother or that lady and the father. If you could hear that exchange, how instantly that would have been blown up on social media.
I got a quick question. Do you have other form factors besides the circular in?
At the moment, no. We have one right now, which is a planar array. It's about 13 inches in diameter. But this is the first of many things to come. And I would say check back at next NAB.
Can you guys change the point of audition? And could you like do like, say for instance, like you could set up like a stereo with this, right?
There's a stereo automixer as channels 10 and 11 Dante out. So you can take the 8 lobes, assign them to the stereo automixer, pan them accordingly, and then take that automix out directly on 2 channels.
And then can you shift the point of audition for those microphones? Or are you just like, you're like listening to it like it's locally there, or could you like be listening like it sounds like you're further away? Can you change a point of audition?
Well, we're not changing physics here. So your signal to noise is still going to be what it is, right? It's just like a shotgun mic. You're going to have your closer objects be louder, your further away objects be quieter. What people comment though is they have the same question, like, there's no magic here, but because it's such a tight beam, the rejection is that much more than a normal shotgun mic.
Okay, so you could and then could you use a data input to like actually like say for instance like pan with like say for instance either computer vision or something else that would like maybe.
Yeah. So in the firmware that's supposed to come out in like a week or two, we have control strings added that can be tethered to an external source, and you could theoretically steer the lobe live and follow something if you have the data.
But then you can also deploy several lobes and use tracking data, like with virtual sound engine, using
Yeah.
tracking data to open up those specific loads as the action moves across the field. And you can put that in stereo.
When you're doing volumetric spaces, you're obviously going to need more microphones and more lobes. So that software from our partner helps manage that because it's just too many channels. But if you're doing a specific area that one microphone can handle, you can just do it based on the auto mixing. It'll just switch on as the action happens. So in that baseball example, when the runner's running down the line, it's the auto mix is just turning on the lobes as it hears the action. And you get a stereo out as they run by your ears.
And you can also, create that you can create that field, that very wide field of sound, and then down mix it into a stereo and still keep that width and depth to the audio.
Great. Thank you. Have a good show. Come by our booth for more. Thank you.